So now we're going to see the use of dyed cloths, cords and tassels, how they highlight biblical text, and how God used dyed cloths and cords. So these are events in the Bible where this happens. Here's Gideon, defeating the Midianites, and here is a Baal, and here is Solomon's temple with the veil. So I've showed you 3 biblical events. They all involve dye. That's Herod's temple. That veil was torn asunder when Jesus died. And then they used 2 veils after that. Now I want to show you the biblical references. First, Gideon, after he defeated the Midianites, he got purple cloth as the prize that they took from them. Jeremiah says people are dressing the statues of Baal with blue and purple cloth. See how the cloth comes in? That's what I'm trying to show you. Chronicles says Solomon got people from Phoenicia that were experts in blue, purple, crimson, and linen. Now another 3 events. When Joe killed Sisera, or the Canaanites, what happened is, here's a map of ancient Israel, and the Canaanites under Sisera attacked Naphtali, Zebulun, Issachar. There's Mount Tabor, by the way. So just remember these 3. And there you see the Zebulun, Naphtali. What's all this about? The wife of Sisera is singing, according to Judges 5, that maybe he's been held up because he's taking all the colored cloth. That's why he attacked them. Now we know that. And we read that Zebulun, there's Zebulun, Issachar, they reap the abundance of the seas. The snail is in the sea with the dye. And they hide in the sand. We know that now. They hide away in the sand when the sea is too hot. So, and what about, Isaiah mentions these tribes again, Naphtali, Zebulun, and says that one day they're going to see a great light, these tribes. And guess what? When Jesus leaves Nazareth, he goes to Capernaum in the land of Naphtali and Zebulun, and he quotes that text. That's why he goes there, because he's the great light. What about when lepers are cleansed? What about when Babylon is burning? What about that? Well, in Leviticus, it says when the leper's cleansed, he must have tolah, the scarlet. And when Jerusalem is burning by the Babylonians, Lamentation says the people are lying, they're dressed in scarlet. And they lie. By the way, we read that the Babylonians took, after they burnt down Jerusalem, they took as spoils blue, purple, and red cloth. So that's not in the Bible, but this is in the Bible. Okay, what about Tyre? What did they make their sails of their ships? I thank the Lord I went to Tyre before there was trouble in 1974. And I arrived there and there was no guide. And I knocked on the door of a little hut and I said, "Do you know what's going on in this place?" The man said, "I am the chief archaeologist of Lebanon at your service." And I had a marvelous tour, and he told me how the Greeks built a causeway to this island and completely demolished the island of the Phoenicians, as the Bible predicted. In any case, we read in Ezekiel that the sails of these people was purple blue. We read in Chronicles that yes, this is just repeating that from Phoenicia came all these colors: blue, purple, crimson cloth. Now, what about the Assyrians? Can you see they're wearing blue? What's it say in Ezekiel? The Ezekiel says that Israel is like a prostitute lusting after these young, handsome men clothed in blue of the Syrians. So God's sending them, took them. God hands us over if we delight in not obeying Him, but lusting. What about Esther? We read. I'm going to show you what we read, but that's Queen Vashti, who refused to give in to her husband. This is Mordecai wearing blue. That's Haman. You know, in the book of Esther. So here it says in Esther that the palace had blue, purple, gold. We see that Mordecai was covered in blue, white, and purple. So once again we see they're very expensive cloth. By the way, it needs thousands of snails to make a few kilograms of dye. That's why it was worth its weight in gold. What about the spies at Jericho coming down the scarlet rope? What about the writing on the wall? Belshazzar. Anything to do with dye? Yes. Joshua says the scarlet rope. What happened when Daniel translated that writing? He was clothed in purple and gold. And by the way, the perfect woman, perfect house woman sees that everyone is dressed in scarlet. What about the burning of the red heifer? Can you see the scarlet? And the ash sprinkled on people, and they were cleansed. And the Bible, New Testament says, how much more the blood of Jesus will cleanse you. And what about the scapegoat and the red pall that turned white? According to the Talmud, according to Isaiah, though your sins be as scarlet, they shall be as white as wool. What about Jesus? They clothed him in purple. Wrong drawing, wrong color. Numbers tells us scarlet, the red heifer, what I just said here, scarlet or crimson, these two words are synonymous. There's Jesus wearing purple. So don't worry if the artist does red, they don't read the Bible. And here we see Moses talking about, he took the blood of goats and scarlet wool, and he sprinkled the people. And here we have, if that all this sprinkling, how much more the blood of Jesus? That's what I said to you. Now, what of Jesus himself? He talks about the rich man wearing colored cloth, and we also know that people who are involved with dye in the Roman Empire were very looked up to. This is proof, the way on their tombstones. And then we also have this strange thing about this woman that we don't know yet. There's this woman riding a beast, and she's wearing scarlet and purple, and it's got something to do with it. What's this 12? What's this? Something to do with St. Peter. But we do know that still today, bishops and archbishops wear purple. Don't know if you know. and cardinals wear red. So, and another thing is, I'll show you, she is called Mystery Babylon. What's going on here? This is how Babylon looked with all these snake gods, the Ishtar gate. But it was destroyed, as predicted in the prophecies. So first of all, that rich man was wearing purple, just telling you. Lydia was a seller of purple, we read in the New Testament. And in Revelation, this woman was in purple and scarlet and holding a golden cup. What is going on here? And we don't know. This is still to happen. This is to happen. Here in Revelation, God talks about this great city which is clothed in purple and scarlet and gold. Now what is interesting, just a few things, Pergamon is called Satan's seat, and it says later in Revelation, that chapter to chapter 13, no one's going to buy without the number or the mark of the beast. And a little later it says this woman on scarlet, is on a scarlet colored beast, and it says Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots. And this woman's blood, drunk with blood of the saints. And she's been fornicating with the kings of the earth. Now, I just want to tell you that Jewish writers of this time always used Babylon as a synonym for Rome, so to avoid censorship. We know that. So now we also know in the New Testament, Peter talks about the church at Babylon. But we know he's writing from, talking about Rome. He's writing from Rome. So Babylon means Rome. And to further support this, it says that this city is on 7 hills, and Rome is well known on 7 hills. So something's to do with Rome in the end times. Something to do with the beast. And so just to show you that the vision Daniel saw with the Babylonian, the Media, Persian, the Greek, and the Roman, and we don't know yet what are the 10 toes, but this was the Assyrian, and Babylon was very definitely in it. And then the Babylonian Empire, of course, Babylon was in it. And then the Persian Empire, Babylon was in it. You agree? But in the Greeks, the Greeks also, Babylon was in it, but none of them had Europe in it. Now comes the Roman, no Babylon. No Babylon in the Roman Empire. So something's going on here. That's why Europe but took the spiritual Babylon under the same gods, and you understand? Became a spiritual. Now, from the Club of Rome, not so long ago, divided the world into 10 regions. You know, it says that the whole world, it will be the whole world can't buy or sell. Not just Europe, no. But South Africa also. Everywhere, 10 regions. The wealth of the world in America, Europe, and Japan. Now we see, so that they have adopted, the Council of Europe had adopted 12, they pinched those 12 stars from Revelation, believe it or not, because Revelation talks about the 12, this vision he sees, the 12 stars are very definitely means the 12 tribes of Israel. And the whole thing is definitely Israel. Israel is going to come back, the 12 tribes. So and now of course, you know, the church said, no, God is finished with Israel. For 2,000 years they said it. The church is the new Israel. But that's a lie. Now, and we must understand the Tower of Babel, where people rebelled against God, that's happened again. I'll prove it. Here in Europe, the Parliament of the Europe, they meet in this building, and guess what? It's built like the Tower of Babel, copying that painting, and with all the scaffolding. It cost millions of dollars. It's at Strasbourg. And you know, Arafat made this stamp of Baal, because he said that, you see the bull? He said the Palestinians descending from the Canaanites, and he said we worship Baal. He said that. Now, guess what? Nimrod, there's the man responsible for this Tower of Babel, and his wife, Semiramis, and Tammuz, the child was born after Nimrod died. The wife said, oh, the Nimrod's come back to life. This is supernatural birth, see? And this was copied by the Egyptians, Isis and Horus. This mother-child got into the church, and in Diana it was Ephesus, and guess what? In Ephesus the church declared the worship of mother and child. I want you to know that. It was announced in Ephesus, where Diana, all those breasts. And you know the official doctrine of the Catholic Church is don't go via Jesus to God, you go via Mary, because this is what they say. She will show her breast to Jesus, and then Jesus will honor your prayer. That's what they say, the official teaching. I've seen the statue. I went to Ephesus. So we've got all this going on, and this is a Catholic card, but remember this is a vision of Israel, not Mary, nothing to do with Mary, and nothing to do with the church. That is the sad thing. Now there's a legend, in Greek legend, that there was a prostitute. No, first of all, it's the king of the gods changed himself into a bull and took this girl and charged her into the sea and raped her. And her name is Europa, and she became the mother of, remember this now I'm telling you, King Minos of Crete. There's a link here with the dye you're going to see. And so that's how an artist has pictured all this, the rape of this woman, and the woman is called Europa. And this is all over Europe, the statue. This is at Brussels airport. All over, can you believe it? And on their money, there's a Greek money, this bull raping this woman, this prostitute. It's crazy. And now I want to tell you something, there's Babylon. Guess where Babylon is? The real Ishtar Gate. You want to know where it is? It's in Berlin. It got transported there. All the stones, everything. Babylon is in Germany. The real Babylon. So the spirit is there and the real Babylon. And you want, I've been here. This is Pergamon. And up here, my Hebrew student has just come back, and she informed me there is where the seat of Satan was. And all those stones, guess where they are? In Berlin also. Yeah, they are. They've re-erected the seat of Satan in Berlin. And was there from Wilhelm II's time. And Hitler was so captivated by this, a replica was made, he gave all his speeches. That's one of the panels. So now number B, how the use of ritual tassels on robes highlight biblical text.